everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Speak Up with Mopriya. I hope all of you are doing excellent. I'm also doing fabulous and really excited for today's episode. Because today, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen and we are going to have some fun and learn how to describe a recipe in English. I know a lot of you are going to love this episode, and so am I. But before we get started, let me give you a little story. Why am I making this episode? So, sometimes during my sessions, I give this task to some of my learners. I ask them to describe how they make or prepare a recipe. Most of the time, I see that they struggle with how to describe the process or the names of certain cuts of the vegetable, the things that they do while preparing the dish. That is why I think it's a good idea that I share a few of my recipes, because I always keep on telling you guys that I love cooking, and in the process describe you how to make recipes so that the cooking terminologies are easier for you to understand and use in your day-to-day conversations. So be ready with a pen and a paper, because you are not only going to learn a recipe but also a lot of new terms and new terminologies on describing a recipe. And before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself to all of you who are watching me for the first time. Hey guys, my name is Mopriya. I am a communication coach and a soft skills trainer. I am also a TEFL certified spoken English trainer and a certified life coach. And on this channel, Speak Up with Mopriya, I aim to help you guys nurture your spoken English skills, and along with that, learn the soft skills, the etiquette, the personality development traits, which can take you to greater success in your personal as well as professional life. So if you like the channel and the content, consider subscribing and share it with your friends and family so that they can also learn something from these videos. Alright, so let us get started with today's video, and let me explain to you what is it that we are making today. Now, whenever we talk about an Indian recipe, most of the times what I have seen people do is they try to translate the entire name of the recipe or the basic ingredients to English. It is okay to translate the names of the basic vegetables to English. However, try and hold on to the authenticity of the name, because the name is a noun and you don't need to translate it. It shows the individuality of a cuisine, and it's okay to just use it as it is. So today I am preparing aloo jeera with lots of onion because my husband loves it that way, and I'm going to share the recipe of it and a few more details related to that recipe. So as we all know, the main ingredient for aloo jeera is potatoes, that is aloo. So over here I have taken diced potatoes. This cut of potato is called a dice because it looks like a dice. Now I have taken diced potatoes and I have parboiled it or blanched it. Parboiling or blanching means to cook any vegetable in hot boiling water for just a few minutes or seconds, so that it is not completely boiled but it is not absolutely raw as well. So you can make a note, it's called parboiled or blanched. Along with that, as I said, I have taken some onion because my husband loves onion in aloo jeera. So this cut of an onion is called slice. So I have sliced one onion for this recipe. Along with that, I have some chopped green chilies and finely chopped ginger and garlic. Now, since I'm showing you sliced onion, let me also show you another cut. This one is called finely chopped onion. Now to begin with, first we are going to turn on or light the stove. After that, I am going to take a kadhai, and it's okay to call it a kadhai. Again, remember it's a name of our utensil, and I'm going to let it heat up. Once the kadhai is hot, I'm going to add some oil to it. And once the oil is hot, I'm going to add in lots of cumin seeds or jeera, because that's the recipe of the name. So we will put in a lot of jeera. And after that, I am also going to add in the chopped green chilies Along with that, I'm also going to add in some curry leaves to it because we really enjoy the flavor of curry leaves. You all tell me how many of you enjoy the flavor of curry leaves? Along with that, I'm also going to add in a little bit of asafoetida or hing. Make a note of that word. And now I'm adding in the ginger and garlic chopped, and I'm going to saute it. This process is called sauteing. So I'm going to saute it for a couple of minutes until everything smells amazing and the ginger and garlic turns a little light golden brown. Once that is done, then we will add in the next step to our recipe, which is going to be the sliced onion. So now it looks a little nice and smells heavenly, to be honest. So now I am going to add in the sliced onion that we had kept for this recipe. After adding in the sliced onion, I will just saute it again so that everything mixes well, and we will let it fry for about 2 to 3 minutes till the onion turns translucent and pale pink in color. So, whenever you fry onion for a couple of minutes and it changes to a translucent texture, the color of that onion is called pale pink. This is what pale pink looks like, and now I'm going to add salt to taste. You always say salt to taste when you are mentioning about the quantity of salt, unless you want to say 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon, depending on that. Now I'm going to add in turmeric. Haldi is called turmeric in English. Along with that, I'm going to add in some coriander powder. This is our dhania powder that we call coriander. And along with that, some cumin powder or jeera powder. Along with these, I am also going to add in a little bit of Kashmiri red chili powder. And then I am going to stir the spices really well with the onion, ginger, and garlic. So, whenever you are mixing your recipe, you can call it a stir. Give it a stir, STIR. Once everything is mixed well, now I'm going to add in the parboiled potatoes to the spice mix, and I'm going to stir it really well so that the spice and the potatoes come together and mix really well. After that, I'm going to cover it with a lid and cook it for just 5 minutes. So, ढकने को बोलते हैं to cover it with a lid. ढक्कन को lid बोलते हैं. So while we are waiting for this dish to get cooked, let me share a few things with you that you might want to remember while narrating a recipe. So, did you see till now when I was doing all of these things and narrating to you, I was using the present continuous tense because I was actually doing that action. So, whenever you are talking about a recipe while preparing it, only then you will use the ing form. But suppose now I have to tell you about how I usually cook aloo jeera. In that case, I am not going to use present continuous tense. Can any of you guess what tense will I use if I have to talk about how I cook it usually? Yes, you are absolutely right if you guessed the simple present tense. So in simple present tense, if I have to narrate the recipe, then I would say something like, so to prepare aloo jeera, I cut the potatoes into dices and I parboil them or blanch them. After that, I slice some onion and finely chop some ginger garlic and also chop some green chilies. Once I'm done, I light the stove and then put the kadhai on the gas and then let the kadhai heat. It's okay to call a kadhai. No need to change the name. Once the kadhai is hot, I add some oil and let the oil heat well. Once the oil is hot, I add in some cumin seeds, the chopped green chilies, the chopped ginger and garlic, some asafoetida, and the sliced onion. After that, I saute it for a couple of minutes and then add in the masalas or spices. I add a little bit of salt to taste. Along with that, some turmeric, some red chili powder, some coriander powder, and some cumin powder. I mix all of it well and then I add in the parboiled potato, mix it well, and then cover it for 5 minutes to cook completely. After that, I sprinkle some finely chopped coriander and serve it hot. Now it's time for us to remove the lid and look at this beautiful vegetable. I'm just going to garnish it with some fresh coriander and give it another good mix. And it is ready to be served. I serve it with either rotis or I serve it with dal and rice. We really enjoy it. How about you guys? So that's how you talk about a recipe when you talk about it in the simple present tense. However, it is important to keep in mind that there will be times when people will ask you some questions and you will have to frame your answers keeping in mind the way the question has been asked. For example, so if somebody asks me that, hey Mopriya, I want to make the Aloo Jeera recipe like you had made last time. How should I make it? In that context, me answering it in the simple present tense will not make sense. I have to frame my answer depending on the question, which is if the person has asked me how they should make it, then I have to frame my answer accordingly. So, in that sense, I have to use second person singular and I will frame my answer with something like, first of all, you will have to cut some potatoes into dices and parboil them or blanch them. After that, you will have to slice some onion and finely chop some ginger garlic along with some green chilies. So, you see how I changed my answer from first person to second person singular. That is what you have to follow when somebody asks you how they can make it. Then there will be times where you might be asked, hey Mopriya, how did you cook the aloo jeera last time? It was so delicious. In that sense, again, if I answer it in first person simple present tense, it will not make sense because the question is, how did you cook it? So I have to frame my answer in past tense. So I will say something like, I first cut some potatoes into dices and then I blanched them or parboiled them. After that, I sliced some onions and finely chopped some ginger garlic along with some green chilies. So I hope you have been able to understand this difference while talking about recipes. You have to pay attention to the question that has been asked and frame your answer accordingly and use simple present, present continuous, past tense or future tense depending on what is the context of your discussion. So now I am ready to go and enjoy lunch with my husband. But I hope that all of you have learned a few new terms from today's episode and you are going to use them mindfully in your conversations from next time onwards. As a quick task, I would want all of you to list down what are the new cooking terminologies that you have learned today in the comment section. I can definitely go through it and share my observations with you. And for sure, next time somebody asks you for a recipe, try and narrate it with a lot of confidence. Also, there are a lot of other cooking terminologies that you all need to learn. This is just one recipe. So, I am planning to make more episodes like this. If you find this episode helpful and interesting, let me know in the comment section. If the response is good, then I will continue making more recipe related videos to teach you cooking terminologies and how to narrate recipes in English. For any of you who wants to connect with me for YouTube conversation videos or to join my WhatsApp learning community or to take sessions from me, please read the description box. I have given all the details in there. Connect with me on WhatsApp and we can take the discussion forward from there. All right, with that, wishing all of you a great weekend. Enjoy, have fun, and see you tomorrow with another new video. Bye.